Hey guys, this is Matt Baker here. I drive that beautiful gold 2015 JKU Rubicon right there. It's got 2 inches of lift, running on 35s. I run the Hill on Wheels group as well as the Faith Family Adventure page. We went to Moonlight, and this is our little adventure there. We only did green trails the entire day, and as you can tell, even the green trails were intense. We did end up on a yellow trail briefly, and that was a very tight and sobering experience, but even the green trails were very challenging out there. As you can tell, this is the very first hill climb we did of the day, and pretty well everybody just spun and spun their way up the hill. We all made it without any winches or anything like that, but it was challenging to say the least. And see my kids in various sections of it, and I like to get them involved. They're really good with the GoPros. They get in good spots that are safe and out of the way, and I enjoy having them out there with me. They have a role to play, and they do it well. Okay, so this, after you get to the top, you go down to the end of the trail, and this is the way back down, and as you'll see, there's a root poking out on the left-hand side. I'm sorry, the passenger side right there, that everyone tries to basically squirm their way around as best as possible. Thankfully, the groove kind of pulls you around it, but as you can see, this hill is extremely steep, and you just are sliding your way down the whole way. Your brakes work, but you know, they're just grabbing as best as they can grab. It's a slick mess, and it hadn't even rained in a few days. It was just so steep that it made it really hard to go down. A couple of the people used, Brandon being one of those people, used his hill descent, and he said it worked really well going down.
I would die if I was in there.
His JKU is sitting on, I believe they are a 32-inch equivalent tire. He tries to put a seatbelt on here, which is completely pointless because it's on such a steep section that the seatbelt would not let go. That should tell you how steep it is, because he's not one to grab for the seatbelt very quickly. It's a pretty steep section. That's his brother riding with him there. He's got his kids in the back. This is Al and Pauline. They have wheeled with us since, oh man, it's been over a year we've wheeled with them. Well, I actually wheeled with Al for over a year. Pauline and him just got married recently, and that is their 2019 or 2020 JLU. It doesn't have a lift on it at all. I think it's running on 33s. And pretty brave for a guy who has a pretty well brand new Jeep without a lift, and he does everything the rest of us do. He is from upstate New York and will not shut up about it.
Yeah.
Just kidding. We love you guys.
That's about what off-roading is all about.
This is Brandy. The 2 Jeeps ago, Brandon is her husband, and this is Brandy's Gladiator, and she just decimated everything on the trail. She did such a great job conquering everything the rest of us went, especially with the Gladiator with no lift kit on it. Just did a great job running stock tires, no lift, with that long wheelbase. She did a great job the entire day. I believe she was using hill descent on that hill as well. This is Mark. He runs a YouTube channel called Topo Trek, and this was his first adventure with us. He lives down in Cape Girardeau, and this was his first trip with us, and he said he got to really put his Jeep to the test, and he's never been able to really do that before, and thought we were kind of crazy for a minute, but he ended up loving it. And I love that pretty white Jeep. I'm a sucker for white Jeeps. This is JR and his girlfriend Ashley.
Is that Taco Bell breakfast?
Just JR is a lot of fun to watch. He just barrels that thing through everything. There's a few people in our group that are just a lot of fun to watch like that. We call him Captain Dubs. He's sitting on a 3.5-inch lift with 33-inch tires, and I'm pretty sure those are 2-inch rims, so we call him Captain Dubs. This is Jennifer and Charles. They are out of North Kansas City, and this was, I believe, their first trip with us. This is Trey and his wife Mavis. They are running a 3.5-inch lift on 33s, if I remember right. And this was his second venture out.
All right, turn back to the right.
Had a great time
You're
with
good. No,
those
to
two.
the right,
We
to
always
the
get a
right, to
great
the right,
time
to
with
the right,
those
to
two.
the right.
That is
You need to aim it down
Alan
the hill.
Pauline's kids.
Aim it down the hill. Aim it down the hill. There you go. You got it.
They went. Trey went on a men's day with us and had such a great time. He had to go out and buy a Jeep of his own. This is Julie and Jeremy, and I don't know what year their JKU is, but it's sitting on. They were told it's sitting on 4 inches of lift. We don't think it's 4 inches. I think it's about a 2.5-inch lift and 33s. And they do a great job with that thing. They actually have a blue YJ as well, which is what they started wheeling with us, and they loved it so much they went out and bought something newer and more comfortable so that they can wheel together more often. They're actually from the Branson area. This is the whenever you get down to the bottom, there's a valley that you drive through. It's still all green trail. This is a little waterfall that you can drive down. There's a bypass around it. It's a little steeper than it looks, but it still isn't too bad. Most of us tried to do it, or a few of us at least tried to do it. And it just winds back and forth through the trees. Like I said, we didn't leave green trails except for once, and it was by accident that we left the green trails. So everything you see is green. Now this one, we stopped to have lunch right by this red trail because there was a bunch of crazy people climbing this. This is a red trail. So this is what the park is, red is the hardest that this park has to offer. And I seen some crazy people going up it, and I'm like, you know what, I think I'm gonna give it a go. I didn't figure I'd make it very far, which I ended up making it, quite a ways up. And right there, I bottomed out. My diff just dug into the ground, and I bottomed out. So I backed up and gave it a second go. But this time I tried a different one with a little more clearance, and believe it or not, it wasn't clearance that was the problem, or traction. It was the engine didn't have enough power to pull me up it. Like, it is that steep.
Hey, you boys are going the wrong way.
I know. Dude, I tried so hard. It has no power.
Right?
Like, as soon as I got to that section, it just bombed.
You could hear it, yeah. That's what it is.
This is at the end of the yellow trail. There's 2 sections you can come out of this yellow trail. We didn't mean to do this yellow trail, but we kind of stumbled into it by accident. And this is one of the 2 hill climbs out of it. That was the more difficult one. A few of us went up the more difficult one, and then the rest of us went up the easier one. The easier one still wasn't that easy. It had a big old tree. Look at that. Look how steep that is.
He's angry. Oh, it's going up. He's going up that one.
Brandon decided to go up the easier one, and it still wasn't that easy. There was a tree root that was hanging a lot of people up on it, but
Oh, yeah.
There it is. Awesome.
That's a hard one.
Dude, you're the only one to climb over that route.
Nick and Angelique was the last ones up. They always take up the back of our trips to make sure that everybody makes it out. And he always takes the hardest line he can take. Foot to the floor every time. This is the section where we went down earlier with the tree route and everyone was sliding down. We came back to it and we climbed up out of that same trail as opposed to going
You're
down.
welcome while they're driving.
Kind of see what it was like, and honestly, I think it was easier going up than it was going down.
Dad.
No, left. There you go. There you go. There we go. There we go, straight.
What else would you expect from the Gladiator? Chill.
Chill.
That's Isaiah. He loves Jeeps and all things
That
Jeeps.
was easy.
I don't think he's missed but maybe 1 or 2 trips that we've gone on because he just loves Jeeps. This was the final hill climb of the day, and we ended up doing it twice because of my map reading skills. This little rock right here is what hung everybody up whenever we try to do this little hill climb right here. It was not easy. As you can see, I had to back up. Actually, I backed up about 3 times to get over it. The hill climb's not done. Like, this is all still part of it. Just trying to get out of that valley. Like, the hill climbs on this thing are long and crazy. And this was still considered a green trail according to the map.
This is a green trail.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
But everyone made it up it. Well, but whenever we did go back around and ended up doing it a second time, we did have a lot more issues.
There you go.
For whatever reason, you know, all the Jeeps going through it changed it a lot. And it was definitely a lot more challenging on the second time around. That is Jen in her JKU with a 37 and 3.5-inch lift, and even she got hung on that, which tells you how big of a rock that is, because she walked over everything all day long without a problem.
Look at that.
It was a crazy big rock and a crazy steep hill.
No.
But this was her first outing on those 37s. Actually, it was her first outing of her driving, I believe. And she just conquered everything all day. Usually her husband, Justin, drives, but he's out of state on this trip. But she's a trooper. She comes even whenever he
There
can.
it is. There it is.
The kids love to GoPro it. And they know when to get out of the way.
There you go. Woo! How's that move? Why are there track marks that go past this? Oh yeah. They're like,
And for whatever reason, Al in that rock did not have any issues. I don't know how he did it. He doesn't have a lift. He's running on, I believe they're 33-inch tires. He has a lift now, but on that trip he didn't have a lift. And he walked right over that thing without any problem at all. Nick made it up it pretty easy as well. He hit it with a lot more momentum, but Nick hits everything with a lot of momentum though.
someday.
So that's pretty well the day. There's a bunch of mud down there at the bottom, and
Now do you see
few
why
of us
kinetic
or
rope
one
is
of us got
better?
stuck, and it was a good park overall. We had a lot of fun, and we hope you join us next time.